right? So I have a client who told me this a couple of years ago. He said, Sanjay, when you started working with me 20 years ago, you told me this was the best product. And now you're sitting down with me and telling me there's a better alternative. So which one of you is correct? Products will keep changing. 21 years in this business, I'm sure you've been in the business a long time. There's one thing I can promise you, products change, right? So I have a client who told me this a couple of years ago. He said, Sanjay, when you started working with me 20 years ago, you told me this was the best product. And now you're sitting down with me and telling me there's a better alternative. So which one of you is correct? Your 20-year-old you or you today? And I said, Mr. Client, have you ever gone to the doctor and you take diabetic medicines and after about 3, 4, 5 years, the doctor says, this medicine is not working, we need to find another medication? Because we always come up with something better, right? If there's something that's better out there for you, I will make that change. You see, I'm a doctor, I'm not a pharmacist. If I'm a pharmacist, I'll be interested in selling a medicine. But as a doctor, I'm looking at, is the medicine effective again? Is the medicine doing what it's supposed to do? Is there a better alternative out there? I'm not looking for the cheapest. I'm not looking for the one with special offers. As a doctor, I'm not telling you chemotherapy is going at buy one, get one free. Would you like one?
Yeah.
I'm actually telling you there is a better alternative. So when I designed the strategy 15 years ago for you or 5 years ago for you, it was the best strategy. There's a better alternative to it today. We need to make that change. However, if I can't make that change, right, you're dependent on that medication, the doctor will say, just keep taking it. So it comes down to that particular client. Medicines will always change. Our products will always change. The only question you have to answer is it more beneficial for the client to make that change? If yes, document it down. So from a compliance perspective, you're protected. And if it's not as good as it used to be, then the question is, do they still need to add that to their portfolio? Because they might not have sufficient amount of life insurance. So I'll give you an example. In Dubai, where I come from, so Dubai is where I work. Dubai is home for me. We only do investment-linked plans, right? So we only do something like an IUL. We don't have a whole of life product. So when I was doing IULs, and we didn't have whole life, that was the best product at that point of time. But once the market matured and we got more whole of lives coming to the market, I started sitting down with all my clients and telling them, you know what I had done for you was the best at that point of time, but there's something better today, right? So it's time to review and it's time to make that change. Critical illness. Critical illness is a very large part of my practice. So I sell a lot of critical illness contracts because we don't have disability insurance the way you have in the United States, right? We don't have disability protection. So we only do critical illness, which we use as income protection strategy. So in case you fall sick, we would pay you about 5 years of income. And that comes out of your critical illness policy. Now, 20 years ago, when I was selling critical illness, we covered about 16 or 19 illnesses. We paid out one time. So we paid out a critical illness and then the policy is finished, right? Or it was a rider. So the rider is removed. However, now we have critical illness products that pay per illness, right? So if you have $1 million of critical illness coverage, I would pay you $1 million for every single critical illness in your life. And I don't pay once, I pay unlimited times. Is the product better? Absolutely, yes. Is it sensible for clients who can change, should change? Yes, they should. But clients who have already got a health condition, they can't change, right? So I give my best advice at that point of time. You see, our advice is only as good as that point of time. We are a balance sheet advice provider. So we need to have that balance sheet checked on an annual basis to make sure we've got the right advice for balance sheet. Whether it's a family balance sheet, whether it's a business balance sheet, whether it's an estate balance sheet, whether it's a family office balance sheet, we are providing advice as of today, right? And that's why we are as of. 5 years from now, our as of will change.
Hey guys, this is Dr. Sanjay Tolani right here with you. Now, the reason for me to record this video was I've been getting a lot of questions asking about, Sanjay, which books do you really have? What have you documented down and what have you not documented down? So guys, let me just give you a quick brief. I have documented everything that I know in the last 18 years into these books. Write the entire set, right? Starting with concepts. How do you present your concepts? What are the choice of words that I use? How do you get to make your own concepts as well? I've documented down in the concept presentation playbook. Going on to how to handle objections, making sure that you know how to handle every objection that I face. So I've documented down 37 of the most common objections that most of us have. I've documented that down for you. Going down to the closing playbook, right? Once you have done the right presentation, you've handled objections, the next step is how do you actually close a client? So what's the process that we follow? I've documented down the 3-stage and the 5-stage decision tree that clients use. Once you have managed to do closing, the next step is how do you maximize your sale? How do you upsell? How do you cross-sell? When do you do a policy review? When do you ask recommendations? The entire process. So once I documented down the entire sales process in these 4 books, then I had a lot of advisors asking me, Sanjay, how do you focus on retirement planning, which is one of the most important parts of financial planning? So I wrote a book specifically on how to do retirement planning. Now this book is written with 2 perspectives, one from an advisor's perspective and second from a client's perspective. So you can share parts of this book even with your client. But everyone says, Sanjay, okay, I have the right skill set, I don't have the right mindset. And that's why I wrote down the perfect mindset. Now there are 3 perfect mindsets where you've got multiple advisors sharing their mindset. Guys, I'm not a publisher, I'm not a book stockist. So one of the reasons why we've not always had all the books is because I don't have a place to stock them. This is not a business, right? I do this for our mentoring family. So what I've done is I've got my team to put together a strategy that you can get the entire book bundle, which is all these 8 books together. And one of the other things that I've got done is I've made sure that along with these books, my team gives you a 4-hour session where you can actually see the way I use the words that I've written. Because when you read words, it's very different from the way you actually practice and use the strategy. So there will be a 4-hour video that you'll get along with this book bundle that will allow you to practice how to use the strategies that I've documented down into these books. Guys, this is 18 years of my career that I've put into these books specifically so that you can get to the next level. If you're a new advisor, you get to start right at the bottom. Make sure you've got your basics correct, you've got your fundamentals correct. If you're an experienced advisor in this business, please understand it's important to keep innovating and changing the way you do your business. Spend some time to re-educate, relearn, and become better at what you do. And that's what I'm sharing in these books. Guys, best of luck. Make this your best year. But you can only do that if you have spent time to build the right skill set and the right mindset. And that's what I've documented down this for you. So best of luck, and let's make financial planning happier and easier for everyone.